Imagine being fired right before Christmas, believing the holidays were ruined, only to receive a mysterious offer that whisks you away to a snowy European palace. What if the last job you ever expected led you straight into the royal world of a grieving king and a spirited young princess? This is the magical story of a humble New York maid who discovers that destiny and love sometimes arrive wearing a crown. The story opens with Allie being occupied with painting early in the morning since it's the only time she has. Her sister Lisa believes she's exceptionally talented and needs to start displaying her work again. Allie isn't ready yet and inquires about Lisa's audition. Their brother Aaron notices some unpaid bills. Allie explains that they still have some debts remaining and Lisa knows she's trying to protect them. Allie believes they can manage with her tips and Christmas bonus. Her siblings also offer to take extra shifts and help her figure this out. A child throws a snowball at Allie on her way out, so she engages in a playful fight with him. Allie's boss Mrs. Hinden is moving Lisa and her to the VIP floor. She has fired Sarah and Liz from the floor and asks them to avoid eye contact and stay invisible. Allie shares that they've been working for 9 months, but Lisa jokes about it feeling like 10. Hinden asks Lisa to be more like Allie, who knows how to be a maid and keep her mouth shut. Lisa and Allie are still excited to clean the VIP floor. Fergus rushes to Max's room and notices the remnants of the wild party he had last night. Fergus likes that Max is letting loose, but Max is worried about heading home soon. Fergus informs Max about his back-to-back meetings that day. Fergus needs to handle an urgent matter since another governess has quit within 2 days. He knows they must hire someone soon with the Christmas gala approaching. Max thinks it's a good idea to hire someone from New York. He asks Fergus to give the housekeeping staff a generous tip. Max bumps into Allie, who feels bad about not seeing him. She tries to make it up to him with complimentary chocolates and soap. She tries to give him a sewing kit for buttons too, which he says he can't have enough of. She only stops when Hinden clears his throat. Lisa's audition for the chorus is in an hour, so Allie encourages her to leave. She's sure she can handle cleaning some rooms by herself. Allie finds the presidential suite in terrible condition but gets to work. Max informs Fergus about leaving his father's watch in the room. Fergus decides to retrieve it and hears Hinden scolding Allie about the mess. Allie calmly asks for more time, but Hinden doesn't care. A hotel reviewer wants an early check-in, so she fires Allie and Lisa 1 week before Christmas. Allie hands over the watch left in the dresser before leaving. Lisa feels it's her fault they lost their jobs, but Allie is sure they can figure something out. Aaron brings Fergus in and explains that he's a butler from Winshire. Fergus explains that it's a sovereign nation near Luxembourg and hands Allie a large check. He claims his employer heard about her wrongful dismissal and wanted to show appreciation for returning his watch. Allie refuses to take it and Fergus respects that. He smells mulligan stew and knows the recipe from when he was a boy. Allie invites him for dinner and it tastes better than he remembers. Lisa brags about Allie's cooking and Fergus thinks their parents raised them well. Her siblings explain that they passed away when the children were young. Allie dropped out of art school and raised them. She feels she's still raising them because they were nightmares as kids. Fergus offers the check to her again as 2 weeks' wages for a job as a governess in Winshire. He explains that he needs to hire one temporarily for the holidays. Fergus has already done research on her. He says the family he works for is prominent and discreet. He promises to fly her first class, provide a place to stay, and a maid. Lisa feels it'll be an adventure and Aaron assures her they can celebrate Christmas in January. Allie knows they could use the money and asks for the night to think about it. Lisa and Aaron see her off in the morning and Allie flies with Fergus to Winshire. He knows she's never traveled abroad by the way she's looking around. As they drive up to the castle, Fergus explains that she'll be working for the royal family. Her job is to look after Princess Theodora, the daughter of King Maximilian II. He wants discretion and she understands that many governesses have quit before her. He introduces her to the cook Mrs. Claiborne and the head housekeeper Miss Wick. Mrs. Claiborne is warm to her but Wick is equally cold. She asks Allie to remember formalities and thinks she's not appropriately dressed. She reminds her they have rules about everything. Wick is sure she won't see the king much. She tells her not to get too attached to her room since she thinks Allie won't be staying long. Allie watches King Max receiving a royal welcome. Theodora throws a snowball at Allie in her room and she shouts at her to behave. She feels embarrassed when everyone looks at her. Fergus scolds Theodora for already mistreating her new governess. Max remembers asking Fergus to give her a check and not hire her. Fergus explains that she refused to take the check. He knows she's not their conventional choice for a governess, but he feels that hasn't worked so far. Max has always trusted Fergus's decisions. He asks Max to trust him one more time. Chancellor Riggs, the advisor to the throne, discusses Max's hotel bills. He reminds Max that his popularity and their finances are down. Max knows it's because no one in his family has ever worked. Riggs asks him to focus on the Christmas Eve gala and thinks it's the perfect time to make an announcement. Max still feels he's not ready yet. Allie finds a toy snake in her drawer and realizes Theodora will be tough to work with. She hears a knock on the door and catches Theodora by surprise at her hiding place. Theodora feels she doesn't need a governess. Allie teases Theodora about her snowball toss and thinks she can do better. Theodora challenges Allie to throw an ornament through the door to prove herself. She ends up hitting Max and he remembers her from New York. She tries to shake his hand but Riggs disapproves of her behavior. Theodora feels victorious and thinks Max should fire her already. Max thinks Theodora's behavior is his fault. He's not able to give her time because of his royal duties. Riggs claims the princess is a rebellious child and none of them have been able to make her obedient yet. Allie reminds them she's just 10 and doesn't think they should make her grow up too fast. Riggs feels like she's trying to get fired but Max stops him. He asks Allie to supervise Theodora for all royal events but asks her to stay in the background. She tries to curtsy to him on her way out but ends up dropping things. Fergus thinks Allie should try to stay in Riggs's good books. Governess's USU Allie stay away so he wants to send supper to her room. Lisa and Aaron have searched for the king's pictures and can't believe Allie already hit him with a Maid cart. Allie feels it's getting worse now that she threw an ornament at him. She also thinks Theodora is exactly like how her siblings were as kids. Wick supervises a maid to bring her supper. Allie heads out with her apple at night and finds a stable to talk to a horse. It turns out to be Max's horse who is happy with how warmly he responds to Allie. She feels it's time she goes to her extra-large room. Max is impressed because no one around USU Allie speaks their mind. Fergus drops off the schedule but Theodora steals Allie's and destroys it. Claiborne brings breakfast for Allie and is glad she survived one night. She remembers the time she started working at the castle when Max was a fun boy causing trouble. Things changed when Max's wife became ill and passed away. He lost his father in a riding accident soon after that. Max was forced to become a widower and a king in a short time. Claiborne knows he hasn't let anyone in after that. Allie finds Theodora and claims she doesn't scare easily. Theodora assumes Allie will try to make her act like a princess but she doesn't want to. Allie shares that she wanted to be an artist when she was young. She asks Theodora to choose the activity she wants that day. Theodora tries to scare Allie with a bug but Allie feels New York has toughened her. Theodora remembers how she scared the last governess this way who thought she was annoying. Allie feels it's a child's job to be annoying and it's fine. Theodora wonders if Allie is married and thinks she's an old maid. Allie admits she was a maid till she got fired. Theodora wonders if she's nice to her because she wants to marry her dad like all the other women. Allie assures her that she has no chance with Max and is only nice to her because she likes her. Theodora shares that this was her mother's greenhouse. Allie knows she misses her and explains that she lost her parents too. She shares how her siblings keep reminding themselves they're the Evans to feel like they can get through anything. Theodora warms up to her after that and jokes about putting bugs in Wick's bed. Fergus reminds Allie that Theodora is late for her Christmas photograph. It was mentioned in her schedule but she claims she didn't get it. They know it's Theodora's doing but Allie promises to get her ready on time. Allie gets her dressed in a few minutes and warns her when her jeans are showing through the dress. The attendees at the dinner gossip about the Count of Ashbury who has had many wives. Theodora wants to go ice skating with Max the next day but he's not free till after the holidays. She angrily throws her food down but Allie picks it up and puts it back. No one can believe she did that but she explains the 3-second rule of the food still being good. When she feels awkward, Max rescues her by joking about a 3-minute rule his roommate made at university. Riggs doesn't like Max warming up to Allie and asks her to make a toast to embarrass her. Fergus gets them glasses and Allie toasts to those who are there at people's best and worst. Fergus hands her the next day's schedule and informs her about all the events that day. He shows her the preparations for the Christmas Eve gala which has remained the same for 300 years. He informs Allie that she's supposed to be prepared in the background in case of any issues. Fergus asks Carter to put the tree at the far end. Theodora asks if she can decorate it with Allie. The royal decorator is about to arrive the next day but he allows them to get a head start. Theodora knows where the ornaments are locked but Allie suggests they should make their own. Theodora loves her lace ornament and is in awe of Allie's pine cones. She doesn't believe even the royal decorator can outdo them. She remembers making ornaments with her mom and feels like she's forgetting her. Allie says she focuses on one last memory whenever she feels that way. Hers is of Christmas many years ago when she was opening presents with her mom. She remembers laughing at one song and feels that always helps her remember. Max still wants to postpone his wedding. Riggs thinks he's had enough time in 4 years to grieve. He knows a royal wedding will strengthen the country. Lady Celia's family will also help their relations with northern provinces. Max wants to find love unattached to an arranged marriage. Riggs points out how perfect and royal Celia is. Riggs reminds Max he has a history with Celia which only broke when he went to America and decided to marry someone else. Max admits he likes Celia but knows he can never love her. Riggs reminds him that Windshire needs a queen and Theodora needs a mother figure. Max walks off when he's heard enough about his duty to the kingdom. Max watches Allie and Theodora having fun with the ornaments and laughing around. Theodora has an idea for the tree topper and runs to get it. Wick scolds Allie and disapproves of Theodora's choice of the king's crown for the tree topper. She takes it away but Max watches Theodora and Allie laughing behind her back. Allie puts Theodora to sleep and joins the staff in the kitchen. Wick doesn't want a governess to eat with the staff but Fergus doesn't see any issue. He asks Allie to try Claiborne's kidney pie but Wick walks off. Fergus assures her she'll be fine and they start discussing Allie's mulligan stew. Claiborne has heard about it and asks Allie for the recipe. Allie finds Max secretly placing the crown on the tree. He jokes about it being too high for Wick to take down. He asks if she rides horses and takes her along that night. He feels he can see everything from the seat of a horse. He only feels like himself at night with them. He loves New York because no one knows him there. He loves standing in line and getting shouted at by taxi drivers. Allie jokes about exchanging lives with him. Max shares that he met his wife in New York. Her family was also royal and stuffy but she wasn't. They eloped and Max was sure his father would have disowned him. He remembers him as a much better king than a father. Allie wonders if he's also becoming a little like him. Max is also afraid he's going down the same path but doesn't think he can change anything. He's heard about Allie being an artist from Fergus. She admits she did a show that didn't do well. She just paints for herself now so he hopes to see her work sometime. He asks his horse to curtsy to Allie and takes her to a beautiful place. When they're back, she thanks him for the royal treatment while he thanks her for treating him like a normal person. He helps her get down but they get too close. She awkwardly leaves but Riggs doesn't like this. He asks Wick to prepare for Lady Celia's early arrival. Claiborne teases Allie about last night and doesn't remember the last time Max took anyone riding. Theodora also saw Allie with her dad and gave her some tips on the horse. Fergus brings breakfast for Max and Riggs and they hear Allie, Theodora and Claiborne singing. Riggs doesn't approve but Max always appreciates a Christmas song. Max is surprised about a royal car coming and Riggs informs him about Celia's arrival. He says he arranged for it since she'll be family soon and the monarchy needs a queen. Celia is glad to see Max and claims she hasn't seen Theodora since she was tiny. Theodora reminds her they met 3 months ago and at other holidays. Celia feels she's making up for her forgetfulness with a gift. She thinks it's time for Theodora to start her ballet lessons. Theodora introduces her to Allie and Celia finds it weird she has an American governess. Theodora informs Allie that she's the horrible lady her father is supposed to marry. Riggs and Celia discuss the upcoming royal wedding in spring. They want to send out the invitations. Max doesn't like them planning a honeymoon too. Theodora thinks Max doesn't look well and tries to take him away. She says she never sleeps and warns Celia that she'll always disturb them if they get married. She asks if Celia likes bugs and knows how to make ornaments. Max tries to stop her but she keeps asking if Celia is only nice to her because she wants to marry Max. She also feels Celia doesn't love him and runs out in anger. Allie follows her and Riggs asks Max to let the governess handle it. Allie knows she's in the greenhouse and Max comes there to look for her too. Theodora locks them in so Allie decides to break the window. Max knows she's thinking about how he's terrible for wanting to kiss her when he's about to get married. He explains that the union was arranged by the throne and he has no choice. He was supposed to marry Celia years ago so everyone has assumed they will. Allie hopes they have a happy life and tries to break the door again. He gives her the spare key and asks Theodora to follow him inside. Max addresses the nation and people wonder about royal wedding rumors. Theodora says her dad has told her not to believe in rumors. She's supposed to hang the royal ornament but she chooses to hang what she made with Allie. Celia feels they look like a family when they get their picture taken. Allie is expecting Miss Wick but finds Celia at her door. She's worried about Allie and Max getting too close. Allie assures her she's just the governess. Celia says she's insecure because they were about to be married years ago. Celia doesn't want the second chance to slip away. Allie assures her she has nothing to worry about. Celia knows Max isn't comfortable being royal and asks Allie to put in a good word for her with Theodora. Allie and Theodora get excited about the fresh snow and decide to head out. They make a snowman while Max and Celia wait for Theodora. Fergus goes to check on her but joins in the snowball fight. More staff members keep coming out and they form teams to fight each other. Riggs can't find the staff at one point. Wick wants the staff to explain themselves but they throw snowballs at her too. They get quiet when Max comes out and Allie asks him not to blame the staff. Max joins in the fight too and is happy to play with Theodora. He wants to make this a Christmas Eve tradition but Celia is concerned about Allie's influence on them. Theodora wants to make more gingerbread cookies so Allie asks her to measure. Allie calculates how many cups of ingredients they need but Theodora says she's bad at math. Allie feels it's just different ways of saying the same thing. Theodora tries fractions by eating 4 parts of a cookie and trying to eat more. Allie stops her this time and asks her to prepare for dinner. Theodora brings some cookies outside which Max is eager to try. She offers them to Celia too but she doesn't feel happy about it being an Evans family recipe. Celia agrees Allie has a way with children and asks for advice when Max and she have more. Allie doesn't want to say anything but Theodora says Allie has taught her a lot. She's taught her adults should never yell at children but lean in and whisper quietly to scare them. Allie says she meant that as a joke but Theodora has more points about good parenting. Allie thinks the greatest advice for parents is to kiss their children goodnight even if they're asleep. They agree Allie is hard to replace but Riggs doesn't think that's necessary. He feels Theodora won't need a governess after the holidays since she's going to a boarding school. Max assures her nothing has been decided yet but Theodora throws her plate and runs away. Max reminds Riggs he wasn't supposed to say anything and feels she's too young. Celia assures him she went to boarding school at Theodora's age. She thinks they can visit and Theodora can come back for the holidays. Theodora is worried she's losing her father after her mom too. She feels he'll forget about her when he sends her away. Allie assures her she's unforgettable and promises her that Theodora is Max's greatest achievement. She knows Theodora is tough enough to get through anything. Riggs asks Max to propose to Celia on Christmas Eve with his mother's ring. Max feels it belonged to Theodora's mother. Riggs reminds him it would have if he didn't elope. He asks Max to look to the future and thinks it's the right thing to do. Theodora ends this conversation and seems worried. Allie tells Lisa that Max is about to get engaged to Celia. It was decided before they were born and Allie assures her she's fine. She prepares Theodora for the ball who remembers her mother used to brush her hair like this. Allie puts on her tiara and feels she looks like a princess. Max asks Fergus to be honest about whether he's doing the right thing. Fergus knows it's right for his country and what his father would have wanted. That doesn't answer the question and Fergus says he can't be honest this time. Allie asks Theodora to give Celia another chance. Theodora feels Allie should be her mother and thinks Max is better around her. Max comes to check on them and thinks Theodora looks like her mother. He says her mother's memory and Theodora always keep him going. He never talks about her but assures Theodora he thinks about her all the time. His father taught him to keep everything inside but he hopes Theodora can discuss anything with him. Theodora wants to invite Allie to the ball and Max thinks that's a good idea too. Allie is waiting in the corner hoping someone will uninvite her. Theodora politely greets Celia and is glad when Max wants to escort her in. Claiborne gives Allie a gown she once wore with a handsome man when she was young. Her mother spent months making it and she wants Allie to wear it for the ball. Claiborne explains that the man was in the army and was sent away. They lost touch and she saw him again when she was married. After her husband passed away, it's been too long and she doesn't think romance is right for someone her age. Fergus announces Max and Theodora who enjoy their first dance as everyone chatters and Theodora enjoys cake. Fergus announces Allie from Brooklyn. People are surprised because she looks the best in her gown. Celia feels it's inappropriate for a governess to be there but Max feels she needs to be. Celia doesn't like how they're looking at each other and forces Max to dance with her. When someone else dances with Celia for the next one, Max asks Allie for a dance. They glide across the floor while Celia keeps looking with jealousy. Allie is sure she'll never forget that night and they keep staring at each other. Celia asks to have Max back and Fergus remembers how good Claiborne looked in that dress once. Celia knows Max doesn't love her but is hoping he will when they get married. She asks him to give them a chance and wants to see the ring. Max realizes the box is empty and is sure it was in his study earlier. Celia thinks Allie has stolen it but Max is sure she's not a thief. When Riggs takes Max for pictures, Celia approaches Allie and accuses her of stealing. Allie is shocked by this accusation but Celia says they'll call authorities if they find it in her bags. Celia is sure a ring like that can buy her a new life, but Allie insists she's not a thief. Theodora also stands up for Allie, but she knows it's best if she leaves. Even Riggs feels she should and they run away. Allie knows Theodora stole the ring. She admits she didn't want Max to get engaged to Celia. Theodora wants to confess so no one blames Allie and she can stay longer. Max also understands that Theodora took the ring. Allie asks him to blame her, but Max says everyone will think he found it in his dresser where he left it. He doesn't think she needs to leave, but Allie is sure she does. She promises to stay in touch with Theodora and asks her to visit. Theodora and Max say they'll miss her before they leave. Allie returns the dress and thanks Claiborne for making her feel like a princess. Fergus informs her that Thomas will drive her to an inn that night. Allie feels bad, but Fergus is still sure he made the right decision by hiring her. She asks Claiborne to give some gifts for everyone because she feels grateful for finding such good friends. Max takes the stage when it's time for his speech and says he has a different one this time. He feels Christmas is a time for family and love. He's realized he's a parent before he's their king. He knows the realm needs a queen, but says he won't make any wedding announcement that day. Celia walks out, but Max says they both deserve better than an arrangement. He hopes they can get past this, but Celia is relieved she doesn't have to spend time with Theodora. Max defends his daughter and says she'll be queen one day, unlike Celia. Riggs is very disappointed, but Max reminds him he can make decisions for his life. He asks Riggs to leave if he can't make peace with that. Theodora thanks him and Max tells her she's not going to boarding school anymore. Allie arrives at the inn and everyone starts opening her gifts. She's made portraits for all staff members, including Wick. Max loves his portrait too and makes sure to kiss Theodora before bed. He rides to Allie's inn on his horse and says his path has changed. He knows he couldn't marry someone he didn't love and admits he didn't propose. He knows the throne has survived for many years and it'll do fine with Allie too. She asks if he's sure about them. He says she had him at their first meeting and kisses her. And that's where the story ends. Crown for Christmas reminds us that sometimes the greatest gifts aren't wrapped under a tree, but found in unexpected places, through kindness, courage, and second chances. I give this heartwarming royal Christmas romance an 8.5 out of 10 for its cozy charm, emotional warmth, and fairy tale holiday magic. If you enjoyed this recap, hit like and subscribe and check out the next video on your screen, another powerful story that'll keep you hooked till the end.